Lord doing today, man? We got another special guest in here today by the name of
Naya. Queen Naya.
Queen Naya.
Yeah.
You have taken the world by storm when Dre asked you to be his wife. So I just want to know, knowing a man's background and the power he holds, what was it that gravitated you to make you want to be a part of that type of commitment?
The way I see it is just overall, I just see it as a powerful commitment, knowing how, even in his past, how he was a master at what he was doing. He was always been a powerful man, and most people, they just go through life and they don't really accomplish anything. They just go from one thing to another, and there's not many accomplishments, and if it is, it's real small accomplishments. It's limited, So with just knowing Andre and the man that he is he's always, he's always had that. He always go all the way through. If there's no limits to how he operates and what he does.
So from like your background, right? Because I know you was raised by your father, of course. So, like, coming into being like another wife, what was also comfortable for you? Like, what made that comfortable? Because, a lot of times, like, people, you were just at war with like family members. They were just throwing you like, oh my God, I can't believe, you did that, his second wife, and taking on, knowing that type of pressure you was going to take home. What gave you the confidence to go before the world to be like, this is my decision and I'm going to stand by this man no matter what the world says?
Yeah. So with that, it's like, even in my marriage, I don't see myself as a second wife. Although Dre has a wife, Dove, he's been married to for almost 30 years, I see that as we're all one. We all, and it's not like there's any there's you see two women with one husband, but there's not like any type of, there's not like I don't know what I'm talking, you got to cut that part
Like a
out.
foundation? Yes,
it's a foundation, but it's like, even with that, it's like,
because
I just see it as, what gave me, what was I about to say? What gave me that confidence to go forth with the relationship, I didn't look at, I wasn't looking at Dove. I was looking at the man, looking at first the Most High, okay? Even when Andre and I was first seeing what the Most High was bringing together, that was my focus. That was the only thing that was my focus. So I'm looking at the man and seeing what the Most High is building with that.
right.
And, it's powerful to also have, just to be in that relationship overall, and even to have Dove as like, there as well. It's just a powerful, just powerful overall,
So another question I have, because everybody believes in a God, right? Everybody has their own beliefs as to what God is, how God moves. And one thing you say is like how God bringing this together. Like what made you also certain that a man of such magnitude and where you perceive yourself at, how did you know like the timing of God to make this thing work? How did that manifest, and how did you have like that certainty that God did this?
So before I was having consultations with Dre, before the Most High revealed what he really had for us. And we were 6 months into the consultation, and it was like I had a concern I expressed to the Most High, because I'm thinking, initially when the consultation was presented to me, I'm thinking it'll be like, yes, I had things to work through as far as me speaking and being more comfortable in who I am, and just me being more, feeling and being the empowerment that I am, and me knowing that and not having to feel like I'm second guessing myself or being inconsistent, in the woman that I am. And, I was talking to the Most High and I asked him, I'm like, at what point do the consultations end? It's been about 6 months. Is there something that I'm not understanding? Is there something that I'm not aware, that I'm not operating in, that I'm not aware of, for the consultations to extend as long as it did, and then I would say like a week later, he gave Andre a dream, it was me, him, Dove, and my dad, and it's like in the dream we were together, and he was like, Dove was cool, and your father was cool, and it was like something a feeling that my dad had, that it was like a comfort he had there, because Dre said it was like an ailment that a concern that my dad had for me, but in the dream he felt comfort knowing that Dre could accommodate whatever, whatever, he could accommodate whatever his concern was that my dad had for me, so when he had that dream, it was like, okay, he told me about it and everything, and then the Most High just been revealing things, because I asked him, I'm like, okay, like, I want to say I asked the Most High something like, when everything was going on in the very beginning, I'm like, what am I don't know, I'm trying to remember if I asked, what am I to Andre, or what am I going to be to him? And he said, it was like, what Mary was to Joseph, pretty much like the husband and wife. So I looked it up, and I'm like, to see that, I'm like, okay, because at first I'm like, I didn't think that would be possible. People would look at, before we got together, before we were committed to each other, it was like, people would look at Andre's life and think that things were just set for him. You see the wife, Nunu, and just where he is, that's just what the Most High had for him, until things been, the Most High continued to reveal with, So, so just to even go through that shift of me believing that and that really showed me, because even the Holy Ghost told me impossible doesn't exist in culture. It doesn't exist in our culture. And for him to give me that, and not only did he give me that, but he allowed me to go through a situation that manifests that.
Right.
That seemed impossible to everybody, that most people couldn't believe that just what it was, so yeah, just to just to go through that shift. At first it was like something that it was so unexpected going through it, and it's like just seeing him as a leader and a teacher, and to adjust to, okay, no, this is your husband, and still looking at him as such,
right.
Because even I respect the man that he is, and he is a leader, teacher and all of that, but just adjusting to like, okay, husband and wife, but even that is, it's beautiful to really have a man, that can really, because even before it's, just with the information, this is more of a woman that I've ever been or expect. I've never, had I still been in the world, I would have never seen this side of me, I would have never seen that, and no guy could have been able to pull the woman that you see me today. No other guy could have pulled this out of me, but Andre, and that.
So ultimately, what do you think he's here to pull out of you?
think he's here to just pull out really just the woman in me. And that's exactly what he's been doing. You know, it's like, you know, he say awakening those parts in a woman that you would have never thought lived there. It's like, you know, because before I never wore, I had my own sense of fashion, but I never wore makeup. I never really took the time to really embrace my womanhood and just bask in my femininity, you know, and to have someone to, you know, to see the woman and to lately it's like I've been feeling like the way I've been growing, I know it was always in me, but it's like he's been showing me myself. You know, like pulling out that woman is like, this is who you always been, but it just had to take the right man to pull that out of me, you know. And it's very beautiful, because even now I like the taking the time with my makeup and, you know, starting to perfect that, and even the time it takes for that, just that time that, you know, in the world you have all these guys that it's plenty of women that be in relationships that's with guys who are like, what can you do for me? You know, but to have a man that's just who he is, but he just allow you to just be the woman, right. You know, so you don't, there's no survival mode or anything. You just embracing that womanhood and who you are, you know, just being that virtuous woman, and, you know, to have that, for him to accommodate that space for you to just, you know, for me to just bask in that, you know, and really embrace that. So.
That's heavy. So, where you at now, and, you know, finding your culture, operating in women culture, what do you have to say to like the women that's still looking for themselves, that's still trying to find that woman in them? What type of guidance can you provide for them, so that way they can be empowered to, you know, find themselves? Or
first of all, it's like, I believe Dove said it before, one of the classes, a woman who has found her God has found herself. That's the only way that you can, because it's like, I know with me, one of the most precious things that I've learned in my culture is the virtue. You know, the womanhood, that's just what virtue is, and having that and knowing what it is to be a woman, you know. So, and it took for me to learn my culture and the teachings of my God, for me to know what that is, what it looks like, because it's like now, before in the world, I would operate based on what I wanted, how I wanted the guy to see me. I would just present myself a certain type of way to where it seemed perfect, but it wasn't, it was just a mess, you know, and it just left me, I'm constantly it's like I'm operating to pour into other people, and I just felt like it was really, I felt empty, you know, and then especially just dealing with people that just wasn't, that had nothing to offer, and it was just nothing, like a whole lot of nothing situations, you know. But to be here in my culture, it's like me having that accountability to my God first, and that's what keeps me in check, you know, to be pleasing to the Most High, you know. That's my first thought always, you know. So I operate in that first, and with me having that accountability to my God, that's what makes me, you know, be in check in every other situation, every other areas in my life, you know. So definitely getting back to your God for sure, because even He will show you who you are, and that's exactly what He's done with me. Yeah.
Well, that's powerful. Well, basically what she's telling y'all is, come join this Remy, man.
Gotta get in class.
Gotta get in class. I mean, that was powerful. I don't even. Y'all heard it from Naya herself, aka Queen Naya.